hearing our voice.
Like a manager's gonna help you win. bitches. How's that? I guess it's a fucking pick. What do you want? No, 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 no way. and welcome to our third podcast for another league podcast. My name is Danger Nation. I'm listening to my echo, and I'm joined by not a revolving door, but excellent people in general. We got Pog's very own jungler, Bob Frosky, Atlas's very own jungler, Mata, and the esteemed shoutcaster, Sherigan, rounding us off here. Guys, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
And how I like to start off every podcast. Man, let's just go around the table here, starting with you, Sherigan, all the way at the end there. Man, how's your league experience going, dude?
It's going pretty good. I haven't had a chance to actually play too much, unfortunately. Been a little bit busy with life and other stuff that is not League of Legends, unfortunately. But it's going okay. It's going okay.
Gotcha. Mata, Bob, man, someone can keep talking, man. How's your league experience going?
Not fun. It's playoff time, so a lot of prep, a lot of practice, I guess.
Bob?
Adequate, yeah. Been definitely probably on an upswing here. I feel like I've been playing the best, and it's time to show that,
We're playing better than Mata, whose team is in first place.
That's
right
not
now?
much of a feat, by the way. So,
One thing that does have me really excited though is the new items they just released for the main game that are gonna be going on the PBE soon. Like I was just looking over that list. Oh my god, I'm excited. I did see something that's a little worrying, but it's we can get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, we can go that in a little bit, but we'll definitely talk about that later in the podcast. But, guys, playoffs are here, and, a lot has happened over the weekend during KMS. And, dude, I think I got two of the best teams here to talk about their playoffs. One has a bye, one has to fight to get into the quarterfinals here. So, let's start at the top. The tip top of Mata's team, Atlas's. Man. So, Mata, from your perspective right now, let's just go over quickly the games on the weekend. TBD, let's not lie. You guys crushed them. And I honestly forgot what the other game was already. So can you just, recap for me on your team and how you guys did? And
this week we played TBD and GG. And, I don't know. Both of the games weren't particularly hard. We had the easiest ending schedule. Because we had already played all the top teams already, so we pretty much had to just wrap it up. So it was I would have rather have played tiebreakers than have gotten first because of game time. But it is what it is. We got the bye. We can select who we want to pick for the next round. So we're pretty excited about it.
Gotcha. And I guess we could just go straight into matchups here because the first matchup is happening this Saturday, October 3rd at 6 p.m. Zach, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But dude, we got Pog versus GG here, and I want to quote something Bob said last week that he says whoever GG's facing up against could actually kick out that potential playoff game. So, dude, tell me what you think about that matchup in general. Do you think your own words will come true and GG will knock you out of the tournament?
No. As you can see, shit happened yesterday, and right now I'm a man on a mission, and anybody who's getting in the way of that is going to lose. So, all I want to say is careful to GG. They're my boys, and I will hate to do this to them on Saturday, and careful to whoever team picks us.
Man, shout out to both teams happening there.
Yeah, I don't want to ask strategy because I feel like that'd be a little bit of a faux pas. But definitely, do you
let
have
Fang over Fang pick Nidalee?
Do you have kind of an idea of what you're planning on doing for these best of threes? Because we haven't done that in a while. It's been and I don't know how familiar your team is with playing in a best of three sort of scenario where you pick a strategy first game. If it works, you try and stick with it second game. Sometimes you try and switch it up second game. Do you have you started prepping for that with the rest of your team?
Yes.
Why
Not
does
knowing
everybody
you
give me
not-
one-word answers?
I
Do you
mean,
have any
man,
idea how
Look, are
frustrating
you guys
this
like
is?
here? Are you
There's
guys
No,
like
I'm-
out?
Listen,
I
I'm
mean,
sure you
he
guys
asked
gonna
a loaded
understand
question.
why. Like, yes, we have a strategy, but
Yeah.
we're not gonna say anything about what our strategy is, right?
No, it's not even this. It's more like even when I do these
The
after-game interviews, like all of you guys just give me like, yes.
If the
man.
answer is yes,
No.
it's the correct answer to
Yeah.
give yes. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
Boring answers.
Y'all are
from your
not
top
faker
team.
yet. You haven't
Yeah.
reached that level to where you could be super awkward in an
Boring
interview.
answers from our top teams here, man. Come on.
I mean,
well,
I
give us-
never-
give
yeah.
us-
listen. There's
Like,
a strong
just-
correlation.
seriously, just
Listen,
give me the.
listen. There's a strong correlation with being boring and being the best. All right, because the best teams never give away all the information that they have.
Right.
Is
But
best
they'll still
sports
ham it
team-
up a little bit, and they'll be like, we went out there, we played the best game that we can, we did good, we won
Played
the
the
game.
full 60
Next game we'll
minutes.
do the same thing. We're
Nah,
gonna go out there,
man.
play the best game we can, we're gonna win.
Man, we're not
I wanna
doing
thank
that.
God.
Man. Those PC, we're leaving those PC answers behind.
It
No
makes
one
for
wants
better
to hear that.
entertainment. It makes for
Does
better
it-
entertainment. Come on.
I feel like no one cares if we just like, yeah, they played a good game. We played a good game. We just were better on the day. Like maybe if the sky was falling, they could have beat us. But man, we were better on the day. You know, like no one likes it. Like what? That seems such a boring answer.
It does seem like a boring answer, but trust me, the psychology is it's the hearing of the voice that actually like it alludes to something more. Essentially, that's all it is. It's an illusion. You just gotta play it up a little bit.
All right, I can see that.
That's my little rant. That if anybody
All right.
watches this, they know my frustration in the interview. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm not gonna tell anybody else that.
Please give a better answer since we're stroking your ego, dude. Like-
What do you go?
All of our sets is I'm actually not the ego person in here, but we're doing all of our scrim sets into best of 3 format for now. We actually usually do best of 5, so we've changed that up to prep. But I mean, it's really hard because we don't know like who we're prepping for necessarily, since we're just going to be watching all the matches and trying to determine like who's the best opponent for us to face. So I at the moment there's nothing really to reveal.
Wait, so who is the better? Who are you gonna pick, dude?
You guys ask me this every time we're on here. I don't know who we're gonna pick, and even if I did, it's not my decision.
So you're telling me there's a shot caller on your team who kind of runs things that's not you?
No, I do the shot calling, but we're voting. We'll take a vote, take a team vote. So whoever, I mean, I can guess who my team would vote for, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
So who's your vote, Mata?
Who would I vote? I'm really determined on who plays the better series. So I'm fine with either one, depending whoever plays the best, like in their series
Really?
to win. We'll take
that's interesting.
the one that played worse. Like I think everyone's gonna do the basic thing. Like we're not gonna pick the harder opponent and just to style on them if that's what
Dude,
people
can
do.
I ask? Because like honestly, during both I think every game in the past 3 weeks, like Shen has been either banned or picked, and he was picked last week. Like at every game, and at every game he was picked in, he won. So do you think that's going to take more priority in these quarterfinals? Just because, like, obviously you need coordination to work around the Shen ult, and I feel like a lot of people are thinking, oh, this is going to be a 2v2 in the bot lane, but all of a sudden Shen shows up and gets the double kill on the bot. It just completely swings the game the other direction. You think that's going to be... And now it's getting picked into jungle and not support, but, like...
I mean, it's playable as a support if you want to do
God
it.
damn it! No, it's not. It's 0-3.
I win.
It's 0-3 as a support in KMS. I don't. And
I
oh my
mean,
god, dude!
where
When
is-
Raptor said
Where are you
Jarvan
getting your
support, I'm
information
like,
from? Like who's playing it in the support role?
TBD did once and Blue Bayou and someone in Diamond Under did. I don't remember.
Well, first of all, they should have flexed the Shen on TBD when they immediately saw who was it they were up against. They were up against I think it was a Zillion. Like the moment you see a Zillion, you do not take Shen support because you cannot do that at all. You're going to get yourself screwed over in so many ways because Shen is one of those guys, like he's like Leona, like I've mentioned, where he'll be an all-in. As soon as he's in, he's got no escapes, which means Zillion just drops both bombs on your intended destination, and you're stunned, and you can't do anything, and the ADC just bursts you down.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's like what they should have done right there is they should have flexed him to either top or jungle at that point because they first picked him, and then picked another support to counter the Zillion because the Zillion was like second pick.
I mean, you have to have a team that's even apt to play him. Like, you have to have a jungler who's going to play him, or a top laner who's going to play him. Like, every team's not going to flex it to jungle in general, so it's not. It's still generally not a flex pick.
That's what I'm asking. Now that there are more teams picking him up and flexing him to jungle, and it's working out for them, do you think it's going to take more prevalence in either picking in this, make sure we get this pick, or that it's going to be banned a lot more in the quarters?
Nope. I will be very surprised if Shen gets banned at least once in all of the playoffs.
I feel like people don't understand just how powerful he is, and so they're just going to leave it open and just cross their fingers. They're going to be more worried about some other pick from some other champ, other player.
Like,
No,
I
100% disagree. 100%. Listen, you only get 5 bans, and it's just like normally you either want to ban out a person's champion pool if it's very narrow, or you want to ban stuff that is really good into the team comp that you're running. And Shen pick is fine and doesn't really hard counter any single team comp by itself. It's just more that the pressure exerts and the randomness of how Shen can be anywhere on the map once he's level 6.
That's just kind of what I meant.
I just think it's more of a communication issue. And again, I would be very surprised if it's banned once in all of playoffs, because I generally think that there's stuff that actually can hurt team comps a lot more rather than Shen, where I just don't think Shen just hurts one team's team comp in particular, or counters one team's team comp.
Gotcha. So then let's just in the quarters, let's just talk about, the matchups. Bob, I'm sure, as we already know, isn't going to talk about his team, so I actually do want Mata's opinion. Mata, what's going to be on your opinion on the matchup between Pog and GG then? Because GG has been on the rise. They have been playing a lot better now that they have their team more or less locked in, but
it's going to be pretty matchup dependent. I mean, in general, GG isn't like mechanically good enough to match against Pog, but I do think their bot lane can do some things against Pog's bot lane, and they have not been performing super well. And Joe Senpai is really good, so maybe if there was an avenue of attack, it would probably have to be through bot side. I don't see Jaffe getting an advantage into Life Orb. He's just one, he's too consistent, and two, it's very rare to see him get solo killed or have or to die to ganks. So that's gonna probably just be a wash. And Fangs and Bobrovsky in the jungle, it's like we don't even know what Fangs we're gonna be seeing. Like if he pulls out Nidalee, like I fully expect him to go another
Gonna be seeing a dead one.
Yeah, so but obviously, just like jungle won't win or lose the match unless it's like a huge jungle diff game, and we'll see. And it also remains to be seen whether or not Tree Smurf is gonna be mentally there after everything that has happened. And Luru definitely got the better of him last time, so it's very champion pick dependent. The only matchup that's like really tilted is topside. Like topside is. GG needs to stay the fuck away from there if they want to have a decent shot at winning.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. I do too. And what's the other game? Ace versus TBD. They say they're like sister teams, but I feel like this one's obviously a slam dunk in Ace's favor.
Especially with the way Ace has been playing and the way that they've been kind of
yeah, man,
like coming back. It's it's one of those things where I mentioned that we've kind of slept on them a little bit because we've just been talking about ATL Pop Pog, but then they kind of snuck up on us. In all actuality, though, they didn't really sneak up on us. It was more of a situation. I think it was the drama between the other 3 teams that has been that's the reason why we've been focusing on them, because Ace has been playing super solid ever since their game against Udyr. They've just been kind of knocking it out of the park, win after win after win after win, and it's kind of like it's almost as though we expect it. In a sense, is a good way to describe it. Like just the way they've been playing.
Well, they're still
Um,
extremely inconsistent. Like Ace has
Yeah.
some identifiable
They
issues.
they are inconsistent. There is an inconsistency to their play, but they've just been on an upturn at the moment. But Bobrovsky, you just played against them. It was kind of a harsh game, but what did you take away from that? Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff you probably were able to pick up on during that game, just like how they're playing.
They played great. Kind of surprised all of us how well they played. To be honest.
Was it the laning that like surprised you, like the mechanics of what they were doing, or was it their rotations? What was it like that really stood out to you during that?
Jungle tracking. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like watching like the VODs over, and it's just like I and our whole team was so surprised where they had no vision and were still able to very accurately pinpoint me all over the map. And
they knew you were at Krugs, dude.
Yeah, that was
like, holy
crazy
shit.
one. Yeah.
I mean, it's very important to remember with Ace is that their weaknesses are more so from their individual players, like solo mechanics and actually knowing their lane. But they have 3 extremely smart players in Torres, Sosad, and Sword Blue. Like Sword Blue he's an average AD carry, but when he is a support main, so like I definitely have no doubt that he's like pretty decent at being able to ping where the enemy jungler is and actually play around it. But I think they just had a good game. I don't think generally they track very well. So,
dude, not to mention, Sunga got a lot better, very quickly too. He played really well the last few games.
No, he hasn't. He has not.
You don't think so?
No, he has not. He's he's pretty much at close to the same level he's always at. So the thing with Sunga is he's a Hishenshin type of player. If he's clearly better than you, then he'll be very efficient at stomping a matchup. But he's not gonna exploit people who know how to lane, or people who are even skilled than him. That's why even though he had Fiora versus Maokai, and he just got completely shut out by Life Orb. So if in general, Sunga is not like a huge determining factor of whether or not Ace wins or not. It's more of mid bot.
So that's actually like why, like with this whole MVP voting off, I actually think everybody on Ace plays so well and is so good that it's just like it's not a one person type of thing, right? It's all of them coming together and actually playing as a team. I think they're probably the best at that rather than any other team. I think they play the best together rather than other teams have some communication issues that they have to iron out.
I mean, yeah, and if we're talking about the match versus Pog, they got everything that they are used to playing, and I'm sure like everyone's well aware that Noxu, when he's not amazingly talented mechanical support. It's pretty evident. But also, Karma is like the one support he can play at a decent level. But once when he falls down past that, then now he's a non-factor or a detriment more so than anything else. Which you kind of need him to be. You need him to be a detriment. If he's a non-factor, then Ace is winning. So and you need a winning mid 2v2. Like people you cannot pick a losing mid 2v2 against them.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And what was the last game that they picked Cassidy in this game? What was the last game that someone picked? I remember it was GG versus you guys.
Yeah.
And as so we've seen a lot of games in this series or in this tournament that Cassidy has been picked a lot, and I feel personally like watching the games as clearly just not getting punished in lane by our junglers in both games. Check the video, Bob, and Mata for your guys' game respectively.
No, it's not.
Really
people think it's just a easy chance to punish. It's not always available to be punished.
Okay,
you can waste a lot of time. If people will ward around with their casters and people will play around that it's weak early, and if you're not there to punish it at 6, then you're just going even. And pretty much the worst part about the Cassidy matchup isn't really if you can punish him early. If his bot lane gets too far ahead, or his top lane gets too far ahead and they break a tower and he can sit there in side lane forever before he actually gets his master thing, it's not really him in the mid lane himself. So unless you have something to really punish, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that's really true because it's definitely a situation where like the players in this series, they've gotten good enough now to where they're playing the Kassadin back. They're playing him under tower. They're playing him so that the wave is pushing into him. And it's like in order to get to him, you have to dive him under tower. Which once he hits 6, he's got that mobility. There's nowhere he's gonna like he could just dodge around you, and you're kind of stuck. So you're completely right. Like you've really got to get those top and bottom lanes shoved and on your momentum rather than the Kassadin's momentum.
Yeah, and then look at the matchup between Pog had Rek'Sai Tristana versus Kassadin Shen. And the problem with that is that Tristana has zero ability to freeze after she puts 2 levels into her E. So you can't just have the wave bounce back and have the Kassadin be frozen on forever like you'd want to do if you really wanted to punish him, which prevents the Rek'Sai from being able to properly play around that lane. And then that's why So Sad Sam was able to just go even, because unless you're taking tower damage or trying to really get that extra turret plating down, what advantage can you get? Because you can't if you gank the Kassadin, Shen ultimate, they pretty much exclusively save Shen ultimate for Kassadin. So.
Right. And, I want to point out right now, Theracles was just saying that he's been doing some of the stat tracking. Apparently, Ace has an average game time of 24 minutes and 27 seconds, which is one of the lowest, if not the lowest, in the standings right now. So it actually beats ATL, but you guys have more wins than they do. So that's the reason why that didn't come down to that tiebreaker for first seed.
Well, even if it did, we have the head-to-head. But still...
I mean, does game time really matter?
It matters in regards to determining factor, and it does say whether one side stomped over the other team. So it can have some indication of coordination of play, taking towers, objective control. You can make an argument for it.
I think there's a little too much reading into that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think personally you can say one game was a stomp or super one-sided just because of game time. A team could have still ended the game at 20 minutes and still made a boatload of mistakes. And a game could also go 35 minutes and a team playing super well and super efficiently, right? So I don't think there's anything to read into that really. I think it's a pretty useless stat, and it should just be taken at face value for what it is.
I mean, their playstyle isn't necessarily to out rotate people or they win by having 3 winning lanes all the time. Which when you have a team like that, they're only really going to lose to teams who have as good or better laners. And you can saw when they drop games, they're not going to drop to a bottom team, but they'll definitely they'll still lose to the top teams. That's their thing. So they're really good at smashing TBD and GG, but
their losing games have been against Pop and ATL. Like your Atlas has got 2 wins over them, and Pop has 2 wins over them. They've won everything else. So it's obviously those 2 teams. It's something you guys are doing that is. Do you remember your game versus them? The one that you played, it was right before.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
I do remember, but
you do remember it. What was there anything in particular about their playstyle that kind of that you noticed, or like I'm asking the same thing that I asked to Bob, but
we beat them. We beat them the same way Pop beats them. Is just our bot lane's just better. If your bot lane's better against Ace, they can't maintain the same type of pressure that they need to have to really get their rotations, because they're not supremely good mid game shot calling team. And they really rely on having that 2v2 pressure. And when Noxu and Utak are losing, they just fall apart. It's like Sword Blue, whatever shot calling he's doing can't be done when he's behind. Especially when he's in off-roll, which he's an AD, it's off-roll. So Pop, that's why if they face Pop in a best of 5, they probably would lose to Pop the majority of the times, because Static and Fat are just way better.
Really?
Well, when you have, it's not really Sword Blue is better than Static, but Utak is really bad. Fat will just bop Utak. And the beginning of the laning phase is support difference, not 80. So
I don't necessarily agree with that.
In general,
maybe it's because I'm not huge on Pop, but it's just honestly, even if their bot lane just goes neutral, it's just I think Pop's top side of the map's pretty weak, that Ace just rolls them over.
Well, Ace doesn't exploit topside very much anymore. Like Torres has
Yeah,
been.
but okay, but they don't have to because they just win just by solo play mechanics.
Well, in the matches that they lost to
You
Pop,
you
that's
you
what,
really think Crit Addict can keep up with Sunga? No. You really think whoever Pop's jungle can keep up with Torres? No. Do you really think uh, Uncle Bob can keep up with Sam? No.
yeah, their mid laner actually is pretty decent. But no, that's not what I'm saying. My point is that the reason why Pop beats them the majority of the time is for that reason. Sunga is not. And Crit Addict plays safe when he plays against Sunga. He doesn't do the crazy shit where he's like getting solo killed by fucking Fierce or Life Orb. So he plays very safe against Sunga. He goes even, and then Sunga won't just be killing people under tower generally. So when that matchup goes even, Torres is playing towards bot side, and if the bot side is losing, then they just get drag stacked on and lose. That's how Pop has managed to win. They just neutralize that top side, and
Interesting.
whatever Pop's jungler is, I don't even know what it is. He just stays the fuck away from there. Like he will
So-
never go for Crit at that point.
That's like the one thing that all playoffs is about right now. It's not necessarily about who's the best team in the league. It's about who matches up the best against the others. Because I think generally speaking, as clearly shown yesterday, I think we probably match up the worst against Ace. We match up like the best against Pop, but Pop matches up the best against Ace, like you're saying,
yeah,
which matches up neutrally with you guys, and then you guys are pretty neutral with us. You know what I'm saying? So like, playoffs is really like kind of like
it's really
mind fucky. Yeah, literally, where it's just like one team it like can beat the other if the matchups are proper, but like they're very. I don't want to say one-sided, but it's just like the matchups are very heavily skewed to certain teams and the others just because of their play style, their champion pools, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and a lot of them isn't. It's not really Pop's fault, but I mean, like Crit is a completely different player when he's playing against Sunga. Like some people just will just allow
Rise
themselves
to the occasion.
No, his is the opposite. He's like accepting the bent over. Like, it's if you know you're gonna get bent over, he's like just taking it. He just lets it occur, be down 20 CS and be fine. But
don't clip that.
There's other top laners that will try to contest Sunga in the 1v1. Like Slowbro will trade and be even in CS and contest it. When Crit goes up against Sunga, he doesn't even attempt to contest it because he'll be picking a carry matchup and won't be able to out carry. So it's like they're good against Ace just because like they're praying to God, like, and their bot lane generally will be better than Ace's bot lane.
Oh yeah, I'm just reading chat right now. The EU playoffs is going to be pretty good and really fun to watch. Besides quarterfinals, I know we really didn't go much into this, but is everybody unanimous with the 2-0 Ace versus TBD and Pog versus GG?
Yes.
Is that unanimous between
Probably.
everybody?
Yeah, I'd vote. I'd say that's pretty secure.
All right, so we don't really have to get too much into that. But next week when the semifinals is revealed, that's a whole different can of beans.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I think,
dude, sure.
I think honestly, it's like the top 4 teams and then everybody else. And the top 4 teams.
Matchups.
Yeah, the top 4 teams and a best of 3 is gonna be really interesting to watch.
I'm not a big fan of semis being a best of 3.
Yeah, I kind of wanted it to be a best of 5.
Too. Yeah,
because it's if you want the best possible final, like semis can be like a best of 3 is just so much more variance. Like it's surprising how much it is, but it's a huge amount of variance in what can happen.
Yeah, because I mean, like you go back to last split, right? It was Ace versus Atlas in the finals. Like, what if that happened in the semis and it was a best of 3? Like Ace showed that they could really compete with them and almost brought it back from a 0-2 deficit.
Yep,
you
did.
know what I mean? So.
Sometimes it takes 2 games to realize.
Yeah,
like,
I was really hoping for a best of 5. Again, like my team like knows Team Pop like IRL, like we're all like buddy with each other. So it'd be really fun to face them in a best of 5. And of course, my team has a pretty strong hatred for certain ATL members, and it would be really fun to face them in a best of 5.
For sure. Like I have a feeling we'll
Jeez,
probably see
dude.
something like that. Yeah.
So either way, it'd be so much fun to play. And like, could you guys imagine if like one team went up 2-0, and then they just got reverse swept in the semifinals? Could you imagine the storylines in those games?
Dude, that
Wow.
would be.
Maybe we can talk to
I
Chris and
agree
see if
that
we
it would
can
be
get that changed.
exciting.
Yeah, because I just feel like we're getting robbed out of great potential games here.
Well, so
he's doing both games on the same day, right?
exactly. See, that's the main
yeah.
reason why it's a best of 3, because of external time constraints. They have to do all of the GU semifinal games on one day, all of the DU semifinals on one day, and then they're gonna have to do the finals for both sets on one day as well.
Wait,
Which obviously you would have done that anyway, but
Well, if they're,
Still,
if they're
that's
willing to do it for the finals, they should just be willing to do it for the semis. So
but that's 5 games a day versus
10 games.
versus
10.
10 games.
Potentially. Yeah.
No, they're still separating it. I believe the finals are still separated on 2 separate days.
Yes. I'm saying like 5 games max in finals, and then a potential 10 games if they were to do on a one day.
I feel like they should just
Yeah, if they were to
add a
do the
broadcast
semifinal
day.
games, it would be 10 games
Yes.
in one day. Like that's
Or
insane.
You could just add a broadcast day. Like I'm pretty sure like they could just do a Tuesday or something like that. If it was
Well,
really feasible.
If it was feasible, obviously
I-
there's external
Yeah.
there's external constraints that are keeping it from doing that. They have to do it on a single day unless they want to extend the tournament another week, which I don't
Mana,
think they
host
do.
the stream for one of them, dude. Whatever
So
game
it's
you're
like
not.
it's
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I-
that my-
I mean-
whatever game you're not doing, dude.
I mean, I think that can definitely be a
Sure,
workaround.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
And it's more also to do with, it's not just the host, it's also I think the broadcaster. I don't know if Chris Edgeworth has any time constraints, but squishing it all into one day is a lot of stuff to do, and it's not something that we currently have the staff available for. If we had more people capable of doing the broadcast, like if it wasn't just Chris running everything on the broadcast side of things, or like Chris Edgeworth, like
Yeah, Chris
he's
Edgeworth.
doing everything. Like he runs every single game. He's controlling the camera. He's setting up the broadcast. He's pulling in the footage from the drafts and uploading it, making the graphics is also done by him and Chris Sunga. So it's like there's a lot going on behind the scenes that there's just not enough people to handle it to do 10 potential games. And personally, doing a whole day of casting a couple of times, I've gotten to the point to where it's like my voice is completely shot by like the second to last game. And
Yeah, they definitely need more.
It's
more
like,
casters too.
we need more casters, and it's one of those things where it's finding a good style and finding a good pairing that is tricky.
Yes.
Like, because I know that it's I think it was when I was with Fang over Fang, we were kind of competing a little bit. I think we did a good job competing, but we were definitely like it's a loud matchup, and we were lucky that it was such a big fighting matchup.
Yeah.
Like if it's an intense game, having 2 casters like that works. But
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the games, especially for if you can prep around that though, like the teams that don't fight as much, like it's like there's teams that are super scrappy and will be fighting all the time, like Pop and Ace, like they've never seen a fight that they don't want to take. So
right. Well, there are, but there's also been a couple of games where it's like it's completely thrown us off guard. Like there were just so many fights happening that we weren't expecting it.
yeah,
You can anticipate and you can plan for it, but at the same time, it's more you want to have, it's like we were talking about storylines earlier. You want to have good caster pairings to where they're able to play off of each other anyway. Like I like casting with Rap Terror a lot because
Raptor
I feel like
is one of the best casters in the league.
he is one of the best ones out there because like his knowledge is good. He's really good at maintaining a storyline. When like God bless him for last game when I had a phone call come in, I had to take that.
missed
It's
the
like he was
pentakill.
able. I know I missed the freaking pentakill. I was like, oh my god, really? I was so mad. And it's another thing. Like yeah, Theracles is right. It's like we're volunteers, so it's like we're not getting paid for this. So It'd be one thing if we could actually like, because personally I'd love to make this a job. Like I'd love to be able to just do this on a regular basis, but it's obviously not there yet. And maybe one day, but even so, we're just kind of it's a growing thing.
You know what? I'll save my comment on that. We'll discuss that at the end of the tournament.
Yeah,
because like the only thing I notice about these like small tournaments is that it's all based on the community that's built around them, and I don't think I've seen a single Twitch that's more than like 80 viewers.
Yeah,
like so, and like majority of them.
Which is fucked up, because it could be more. Like there's people who have like established followings. Like Trinketer, if Trinketer starts streaming right now, he averages like 60 viewers, but he's never hosted a KMS match.
Well, and so the part of that also has to do with so there's a lot. The thing is like that's kind of like the pro view thing, where like the pro view for League of Legends, the reason why they didn't host that normally and they started charging for it is because of the fact that it does provide an insight into the player and the player's mentality. You're hearing their voice comms, so that
was because you're talking about in-game stuff.
Yes, I'm talking about in-game stuff. I'm talking about like in-tournament game. Like they have the pro view thing where you can buy a ticket to see it, and I feel like there was a pushback at first because it's kind of like listening into a what do you call it? On a football game, you know, you have the coach on the ground, and then you have the guy up in the booth who's watching everything, and like the box. Yeah.
Wait,
so the guy
ProView didn't let you hear the comms.
It doesn't?
No,
I thought it did.
No, it just shows them how they're playing.
Oh, okay. So there's that, and the thing is though, like it would be it'd be tricky to set up a stream for every single player, and it's still a personal preference, and it's something that was never really brought up. Like I don't know how many of you guys stream while you're playing the KMS tournament, but it's like some people don't want to do it for a couple of different reasons. One, it's going to be a bandwidth hog, so you're going to potentially screw up your connection to the game itself, which could cause you to misplay, which we've seen happen a couple of times. And then if some folks, when they stream, they like to interact with chat, they don't like to ignore it. I personally don't see an issue with it, and I think that more people should stream while they play. I don't know.
I mean, what's the plan for growth? That's the thing.
Yeah, I was about to say that kind of missed my point.
That's looping back around.
Yeah, I was
plan for growth.
It doesn't get bigger than the community it draws in. That's what I'm saying. And by the community it draws in, it's the players only. Yeah. Like no flame. It's very obvious if you just go to
League of Legends in general.
Yeah, because there's like
you watch people playing League of Legends. They're not watching to watch people cast it. They're watching it to watch people play and stomp and do crazy stuff.
You're watching. Yeah, exactly. But damn. I forgot the point I was trying to make. I got interrupted. Go ahead, though. Finish your thought.
I think it's because we aren't the league and the people who are involved in the content aren't properly using social media and using the ways to get the product out. So you can at least get a viewing, because if you need that one-stop shop to try to leech people off, and that's what's really slow right now. Yeah. There's a Twitter for FOS, but they still don't have a YouTube channel. They don't upload the games anywhere.
That's so much work though for and that's the thing that we talked about, dude. Like literally just focus on what you have right now, like with Twitch.
We're just asking if you want to build something.
I'm saying start small with the Twitch, dude. Okay, so this is the point I'm trying to make. If people aren't even giving a shit about the Twitch, what the fuck is Twitter and YouTube going to do?
Yeah,
people have been saying that for a while. Twitter and YouTube have a specific purpose. So YouTube is an archive. This allows people to go back and watch previous games that they may have not watched on Twitch. The Twitter,
you can watch it on Twitch.
Well, it's depending on what people want to do. The Twitter is to go first. Well, more people actively use YouTube than Twitch.
Well, no. So
not
I
on-
disagree
not on
with
the
your statement about YouTube being an archive. That's what my
I
argument
mean, it
is.
can be. I mean, it can be an
It's
archive. if you
it's
have all the
not
matches
just
there.
an archive. It's more of VOD. Like it's just in general VODs where you watch it at your leisure and you can watch it when you're able to. Twitch is all about the live and the. It's kind of like it's the difference between watching the football game as it's happening versus watching the recorded version later because you haven't had a chance to go do it. So in terms of what we're doing, yes, it's an archive. In terms of content and potential like trailers and interviews and things like that, that should be more geared towards YouTube than it should be towards Twitch.
I mean, well, if we're talking about solidifying your base, then it's okay to start small. But if we're having a conversation about what is necessary for the growth of the league, these are two things that are imperative. And Twitter,
that's
Twitter,
when
for
you
one,
have the audience, though. I'm saying that's when you
were
branch
just saying
off
that
and then do that.
That's how you
are
get the
expecting
audience.
How are you expecting to get past the people who are just playing in the league and they're watching it because they're playing? The way you get past that is to get your product on as many platforms as in to give more opportunity for people to find it. There could be it's a niche audience as it is. You want someone who wants to watch amateur league, and there's a lot of places to go watch amateur league. So you need to have the best product.
There are a massive number of places.
You need to have the quality, which I think KMS does well with their quality, and you need to also have more avenues for people to find it.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that. I feel like one of the biggest issues right now is having to do digital, and not being able to do a physical thing. And so one of the things I've thought about doing before this whole COVID thing hit was there's a couple of internet cafes nearby that I was going to try and hit up and be like, hey, we're doing this tournament, blah, 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 and would you like to host a team? Yeah. And so kind of get them involved, see if I could attract them, be like, hey, we'll put your name up completely free, not charging anything, just because we don't make money. So it's kind of like hey, if you know anyone who wants to play, we can put them under your banner sort of situation.
And you can do that without losing money too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's if I were to do the cast from there, then it would be this is a host essentially, saying thanks for these guys hosting me doing my voice here. So
yeah, and then you get the people who are just at the internet cafe and they're just oh, something's going on. Well, fuck it, maybe I'll go watch it. That's a great idea. But that's something that that's just not an avenue we're in right now. Because in theory,
it is.
Oh, do you want to?
Well, I was going to say that it's one of those things where it's this has kind of gotten bigger than we initially thought it was going to be. Doing this podcast right now is something I never would have thought we'd be doing back in February or March or whatever, when we started KMS up and started X. It's I thought, it was just a bunch of people getting together, playing together, and then all of a sudden a website got made, and all of a sudden a Twitch channel is actually pulling in more than 10 viewers, and it's oh my God, what is this? And it's just slowly started to evolve into one of these amateur leagues. It's not an original intent, and it's kind of cool that it's getting to this point. Yeah. And you're right. It's about growing it from now. We are hitting that. You were talking about a base danger where you've got a base audience, which I think we do. Yes, it's the players themselves, a lot of it, but they're starting to pull other people in, and I think that's a good place to start. So we need to start spreading it out and pushing it beyond our little circle of friends and our little thing. So I think that one of the things that, first of all, I think we need to rebrand KMS.
Yes.
I feel like that's step one.
Dude, honestly, friend or foe esports.
That's
excellent name.
That is a fantastic name, and it's definitely one of those things that I have a feeling it's probably going to get shifted to that.
It has to be, dude. No other name.
Yeah,
it would be a crime to business.
And we forgot to do it again.
It wasn't named to that.
Nothing we say right now has any significance to KMS. We are just talking and spitballing separately from it.
Yeah, it would be a crime to business decisions if it wasn't.
Yeah, we are not involved in any of the big stuff that's being made, that sort of thing. But just
but this is
we're just spitballing as people involved.
Real quick, I guess what I'm getting my point at is that I'm not explaining myself well enough is that the reasons build think small first and then build out is that I don't even think we're at a stage where it could be built out, because this needs the Twitch audience needs to get built out, and then once that gets to a significantly bigger stage, then yeah, do your Twitter and YouTube. But I feel like if you do that right now with the YouTube, Twitter, Instagram,
I think Twitter
I mean,
should be pushed at this point.
real quick, let me
Yeah.
finish my thought.
Yeah.
Is that resources will be wasted on those where you could allocate that for something better and to drawing in more audience. When we have an audience that they want to see the YouTube videos and they give a shit about like the schedule and they can go to the website and Twitter, yeah, absolutely do it. But I'm saying right now that's not the time.
Well, if you think of it like a business is growth is always the main
Right,
purpose.
yeah, I know. You want your thing everywhere, but like I'm saying, no one's not going to know where it is. And they're not going to care about it
Well,
until
the hype matches,
until the Twitch gets built to a bigger point.
well, the hype matches for KMS is like 60 viewers at the moment. Like the stream will get up to 60 viewers if people care about the matches. Like no one's gonna watch the fifth GG versus TBD game, but they may watch Pop versus PLG. So that's also a thing.
Oh Jesus.
I mean, it's accurate. So you can see the difference. You can literally see the stream goes up when certain teams are playing, and the stream goes down when other teams are playing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's honestly, I think a bit of a right now, and like, dude, I don't even want to say we're at the building stage, because like we're at the very beginning of startup, dude.
We're at the floor.
The floor, yeah, dude. Like, and the floor is dirty still. We still got to clean the floor. Like that's what I'm saying. Like everyone's just thinking way too big, way too quickly, and I'm just like, dude, we gotta like build a foundation first, man. Like. And I know it's exciting to think big like now, and dude, but that I feel like if you do that too quick, too soon, without any, for lack of a better term, metrics or like analytics to back things up, I feel like a lot of things are just going to get wasted. A lot of people are going to be frustrated because it's not the things that they're trying to do aren't working. Yeah.
I mean, but it's that type of thinking that has really. It's real that it has really expanded to where we can be, because I actually just got some news.
It's quite literally called wishful thinking.
Well,
like,
yes, actually.
Yeah, and that's I think we need
to
to
some people who are looking for the long term, and some people who are planning for the short term. That's what the whole point of having a staff. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. But I mean, like I said, build the foundation first, mop that floor, and like work from there first.
That's what I think this podcast is. This is the foundation.
For sure, dude. I like, and the fact that we want to do this about this community and this tournament, I feel is a testament to what we think the future holds for FOF Esports. You heard it here first. They're changing the name to that. But
we never know. I have no idea.
It's an incredible name. I would be so mad if it got changed to something else. Like, I could just already imagine what the emblem would be, dude. Like, it would be like two dudes, like one with like Darius's axe and the other dude with like Garen's sword, like friend or foe, flashing on the emblem. I don't know.
I mean, that's a cool first draft, but I mean, at least like if we wanted to make an announcement like today, at least like everyone is when we look at the people we have here who do this podcast, like we have you who's gonna sit there and be, let's sweep the floor, let's get the holes out the bottom of the boat, let's get all that stuff done.
Plug the holes, yeah.
Plug the holes, and then you do have me and even Bob who are
on the top bow, seeing land ahead. I'm like fuck, we gotta worry about this first, man.
We're gonna do an all-star game. We're gonna run other stuff. We're gonna have other things involved, and like even for this podcast, like there's ways to make it bigger than it is right now. Like right now, like I can announce this now pretty much already. Upsurge has given us the go ahead to start doing the podcast for them, and they'll host us every stream. We're discussing them. Risen has given us that same leadway. So there's other organization, and Upsurge gets like 100 plus viewers.
Do they need a caster?
I don't know. I just know that they said if you guys want to do, they saw our first podcast. I showed it to them, and they really liked it. And they were like, if you guys want to do that for us, we'll host you guys, and they'll said they even put us on the website.
Done.
So,
there you go.
Like there's things we're working towards.
Done.
Yep. And I don't know about y'all, but it's like this is one of those things that I do more as a hobby. I'd like to make it more of like a thing that we actually do. I know Danger and I are in similar situations where it's kind of we do this in our spare time when we can.
Okay, I was gonna say Zach does not speak for me
Yeah.
about my job situation.
If there was more of a monetary incentive, you guys would be more.
Dude, it's not like I'm about to tell them about
shut
that.
Shut the hell up. But yeah, I mean, yeah, man, you know.
Yeah.
So I think now that we've discussed that, let's get into a little bit of let's talk a little bit about items for like the last 30 minutes or so.
Are we just going to completely... Okay, so we'll talk about GU some other day? We're just going to completely overlook GU?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, fine.
Hey, man, much love to the GU community. But
Someone who
items
wants to
just
guess
came out.
for GU, you guys need to do it. If we have a
We have
GU
so-
All I know is that
Items
there's going to be an
came out,
analyst
and
desk.
yeah, man, I want to talk about these items real quick.
we have
I was
so
gonna
much
say,
love
all
for
I know is that there's
GU.
going to
We
be an
don't have the
analyst
time
desk for
it.
the semis and the major finals. I really hope we can get Theracles or maybe even like bacon pancakes because I have no idea like what they're going to be doing because I'm pretty sure girls knocked out of GU. So I need someone who knows GU to talk with me on the analyst desk whenever we're doing that.
Did you guys see when I asked for 2v2 scrims, how many people hit me up?
Yeah, I saw. Dude, there's a lot of people who. I actually. Okay,
Damn.
so I know Bobrovsky. You're doing that like for you and Atlas or Mata are doing that for fun tournament, right?
What?
Like, you guys are doing a for fun tournament day, like a crazy set of game, like just crazy. Like that's the plan. If I remember correctly.
I have no idea what Mod is doing, but I'm
That's his
creating
thing.
kind of.
That's your
What?
thing.
That's his thing.
That's your thing, Bobrovsky. Okay, so it was you.
Okay,
I thought you were doing it with somebody else.
No. So what I'm running is a kind of a merger tournament,
Mhm.
single elimination one day, where it's gonna merge the two leagues together. So if any of those gold players are feeling antsy and want their shot,
Pog GU, what?
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Apparently
no.
that's-
Only reason I ask at all is because I had this idea because you know how like we would really like to do an MSI where you have like the crazy game types, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you've
Oh, you mean
got
like all stars and all that.
like all stars. Like you have like the 1v1, you have the crazy all star teams, that sort of
two
thing.
people on one
Two
keyboard.
people, two people on one keyboard. Just the crazy types of matches. I was thinking, what if there was like a rally or a relay match where you set it up on the ARAM map and you basically have it be a 1v1 at first, and then whenever the first tower, like I don't know how much you can actually manipulate the health of turrets and stuff like that, or gold increase like in a custom game. It's been a while since I messed with it. I know that a long time ago you used to be able to like change everything. Like you change cooldowns and all of that. I don't know if that's only available in the practice tool. But in theory, there might be a way to set up like a match where it's like you have like a 1v1 or a 2v2, and then as soon as the first tower goes down, that's when the next you have people waiting in the back line to just like come up and start fighting.
Yeah.
Obviously, items and levels would be an issue with this, but the idea of the game mode sounded fun, and I'd like to figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, there's like some really fun stuff.
Guys, I'll be right back.
That's coming in. Like I know Upsurge messaged me regarding they're trying to do like amateur worlds where like all the small amateur broadcasts come together.
Ooh, yes,
and
that would
literally
be fantastic.
the best teams of each league will come in and do like an overarching tournament. I heard that too. That's something, that's an idea that was being tossed around and is definitely in the workshop. So there's just plenty of things that's going to be coming across.
Yeah, no, and it's like, dude, if something like that happens, I think that would be a lot of fun. Just because, like, I love pro play. Don't get me wrong, but the league community has so many people playing that not everybody can make pro. So, like, the fact that there's even these amateur tournaments for people to try and compete, I think is awesome. I also think one of the things we need to talk about for season 3 is we need a free agency, a way for people who want to play but are not necessarily always know enough people to create a team to be dropped into a team or into a group that is available, so that they can kind of get involved and compete. You know what I mean? Because I think that would be really important. Like, even if they're not even necessarily able to play all of the games, maybe it'll give you an option for a taxi or a what do you call it? A sub for an actual game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So That might be something to talk about. All right, we filled the airtime while Danger was gone, so yeah, we can talk about the items now.
Thank you. Yeah, let's talk about the items.
Yeah, talk about the
I
items.
asked you guys like, hey, pick 3 items for me real quick. I want to start it off by because like there's 64 brand new items in this game.
Oh my god,
And
yeah.
There's some nutty ones in this, dude.
Well, the majority of them will suck. That's the
Yes.
that's the thing.
Well, okay, so
Hey man, hey Mata, wishful thinking, bud. But
No, it's I feel like that's just the in general what is what's gonna happen. Like the majority of the items will suck. It just is what it is.
I mean, from what I'm looking at too, it seems like they're trying to
Make items suck
Make
less.
yeah, and they kind of want to be like, you could build this on anyone. You really only want to care about the effects that it has rather than the stats. Obviously, every champion is going to build differently based on the stats that they need, but it looks like they're really trying to differentiate, really put the emphasis on the power of the effects of the item. And that's what I want to talk about too, because obviously,
Yeah, let's
There's
talk
a lot
about the ones that we disagree on. Like I think the one that I disagree on is I don't know what side the rest of you are on, but I think the collector will be a bad item.
Let me bring that item up real quick.
Mhm.
So
where it
I'm
executes
gonna,
someone if they damage
yeah,
him below
I got
5
it.
health and they get extra gold from a kill.
yeah, I'm gonna read
I
read
honestly-
what Danger sent me about it. So it's 3,000 gold, 45 AD, 20% crit chance, 18 lethality. If you deal damage that will leave an enemy below 5% health, kill them. Kills grant an additional 25 gold, but that's like whatever. And I believe that's it. So yeah, it's this item. This item will not. This item will be like a Smurf item. Like if you're Smurfing in fucking in silver, then yeah. This
So-
I was just shocked they put like an effect like that on something in the game.
yeah, that is kind of interesting. Well, the thing is, they put it onto the fact that it's on a what's a quote unquote legendary item is also something that kind of shocked me because. So
Dude,
here's the thing about those
that's-
mythics. If
Go ahead.
I was looking through the Riot posts, if I read it correctly, you will not get a choice of all of the mythic items.
You can
to
only have
build.
one.
No,
Yes.
only one.
Well, no.
Yeah,
It's not
you
that you
can
only
only-
have one. It's that your character will only have an option of a few.
Oh wow.
They're going to be limited. Like if I was reading the thing correctly, I'm trying to find it again. I'm pretty sure it was a tweet, where basically what they were saying was,
So if you're like an AP,
if you're, let's say you're Jinx,
Like-
you can only build some of the marksman items. You won't be able to build any of the other items that would make it off
That-
meta.
That makes
sounds
sense.
wach.
That makes sense though. That makes sense because some of the
It
items are
does.
tailored for
It
roles.
makes sense, but that sounds whack, dude.
Because
Like,
what they want to do with these mythic items is they want them to be game-changing items. They want them to essentially be like, if you pick the here it is. I think this is the post right here.
I mean, but
so-
like before we segue into that, I really like if we want to talk about this. I really want to talk about this specific item. What
right,
champion is this item good on? The collector.
Ike.
Who-
Ike, Talon,
Ike, Talon, Jinx.
for 3,000.
No,
gold?
not Jinx. Yeah, for 3,000 gold because you're building it as a mid to late game item. It's basically going to take the place of your.
You would only get
uh,
this in the early game though. If this would be a first item, if you're intending to get it.
I was about to say, yeah, like wouldn't.
Well, that's what I mean
Mythic
mid game
be
because of
first
how
item?
expensive it is. It would be a mid game item because it's not something you would build first item.
Well,
I mean, I feel like if the passive is only useful if you're gonna get it first item. So
I agree with you on that point. Like I agree that you want to get it as early as possible. I don't think it's a good first item though.
I mean, Zed might get it. That's
I
might
think
get it.
I think if anything, it's pretty good
Yeah.
on Jin.
Jin might
Maybe
get
early game
Yeah.
assassin. Like people who are able to get you down to like low
think
health
I think
early.
you guys gotta look past the assassins because like assassins typically want to go for
oh
more
shit,
lethality. and AD.
Varus?
Fiora.
Yeah,
Varus
Like-
would use it.
yeah.
Yeah, Varus is another one, like Jin, like stuff like that, you know?
Rengar, though he's technically
Because
an assassin.
you
but-
can make use of the 20%
It has
crit chance.
lethality on it, doesn't it? I'm trying to find it right now.
Yes.
I mean, the
It has
20%
the-
crit chance is really good for
It's control F it, man.
some
Mhm.
like on Rengar. This item might actually be ridiculous.
Mhm.
Like if his Q crits, if you weren't dead before,
You're
Yeah, right.
done. You're even more donezo. Like
Yeah. And he got extra gold for it.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, the 25
So-
gold is negligible.
Yeah. No, and I
It's-
agree. Yeah.
it's not even a pink ward, bro.
Yeah.
You'll.
But okay,
I
but
do like that
let's-
they're bringing
let's-
Sightstone
yeah,
back.
Like
I
we're
do like
getting
that
a
they're
little-
bringing Sightstone back.
Are they really?
Wait, they are?
Yeah, the support items are essentially becoming Sightstone.
So wait, so
Yeah.
so as long
like
as junglers
normal.
can't get it, then that's fine.
Yeah. So
Well, yeah. I think
Okay.
they'll be able to, but I think it'll probably still be listed as a gold item.
That's
they won't
bad.
be able to.
That's bad. We don't want that. We
Nope.
don't want the junglers.
No,
to
they won't be able to
So-
get it.
I want to. So again, I want to pick out Let's just pick out one or two actually
Mhm.
that like really stood out to us. One of them was definitely Night Harvester.
Night
3,200
Harvester.
gold, 80 ability power, 250 health, 15 ability haste. I don't know the metrics of what haste is yet, but the passive is damaging an enemy deals 150 to 250, 1 through level 18. Magic damage grants you 25 movement speed for 1.5 seconds. That sounds crazy for
Oh.
like Silas.
It depends on what's
Okay,
the cooldown
so
on the
that's
item.
look at this right here. So this is
60%
an
cooldown per champion.
this is an AP mythic item for non-mana users.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that sounds nutty.
That's like an
for-
Akali.
Yes. Silas
Yeah,
is not
Akali,
gonna
Silas.
build that. Well, Silas needs mana.
Silas uses mana.
He can be
I-
quite mana hungry.
I think no. So this is the thing. It says AP Mythic non-mana. I can't find anything to confirm it, and this is why I was saying that we need to talk about that other thing that I said. So it's items cost you a big
Dude,
value
this
of
is
gold.
like
You can
yeah.
only possess one of these items at any given time. They're meant to be extremely powerful, and it will define the build path for the entire game. The idea is that you recognize the objectives you need to win. It's going to serially augment that, and it's where was it? There was something about this. Seriously, augment the playstyle. We'll list their basic concept. Sorry, I'm rereading this article because it had that thing in there. Oh god,
Damn, they upgraded Hextech Rocket Belt.
they did. And
Proto
again,
belt.
if I'm reading this correctly, like I can't find that specific tweet or that article, but if I'm reading it correctly, the naming of the category it's in is important.
Yes.
Like AP Mythic non-mana.
Because
So
I
the fact that
think
it says AP,
you
you
can't have mana.
you can't have mana to use that item. So that would be an Akali, or it would be some other AP user like Mordekaiser.
Yeah.
So it might be an option for you to build
Oh,
there,
shit,
but you can't have to be a
Mordekaiser.
non-item. Shen would be able to build it.
Mordekaiser's getting a lot of good items for him.
Dude, AP
Oh my God.
Bruisers are getting a lot of good items.
That was part of this whole thing was they wanted to give AP Bruisers options.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they mentioned
Um,
that.
And they wanted
But-
it to be weaker overall. Is the plan.
Dude,
yeah.
please bring bot lane back into dominance, man. Like,
No,
I
bot
want
lane,
it so
bot lane
bad.
can never be because the bad part about when bot lane's too good is that top is just
fuck
dead.
top.
Like top will just die. And bot is already such a snowbally lane that it's just like
So if we're talking about bot lane, you need to look at the marksman mythics because the marksman mythics are going to be what the AD carries get.
yes.
So that's going to be Gale Force, Kraken Slayer, and Mortal Shield Bow.
Dude,
so
those
three items-
effects are nutty. But go
they
ahead, sorry,
are,
sorry.
but it's so important. Like they're bringing Giant Slayer back, which means that Maokai's and Mordekaisers who get stupid fed. Who's another stupid tank? Like Scion, when they get to their massive like health pools that are just impossible to kill because they just have so much and so many resistances, that's going to allow an AD carry to kill them. That would be a time you wouldn't take Immortal Shield though necessarily.
But
Roski, because I know that you mentioned that you like Immortal Shield Bow a lot.
One item that I'm actually looking at, it's kind of a reworked item. Randuin's Omen. Oh my god, does that item ever look broken? If you guys want to have a quick look at that.
Mhm.
can you
2,700
read
gold,
out what it
250
is?
health, 80. Oh, they gave it health.
They gave it health. It already had health.
They gave
on
it health.
No, it
Right
already
now.
had health. So
Right
so
now.
it's 2,700 gold, which
Oh,
is super
yep.
cheap.
Sorry, I was thinking Rabbit.
250 health, which
Runan.
is lower than I think it has 400 health on live right now.
Yeah, 400.
right?
I think so, yeah.
They gave it more armor, 80 armor, 10 ability haste, and look at this active. Briefly slows nearby enemies, which is what it had, but it also reduces their attack damage by 10% and critical strike damage by 20% for 4 seconds.
What the?
That is
Yeah.
the exact
Damn.
opposite of bringing ADCs into the meta. That is
Oh
a
my-
shutting them
Wow,
down.
dude, that is a rush item if I've ever seen one.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's
So
nasty.
they're just letting tanks just nullify crit chance now. That's
And then,
For 4
hold
seconds.
on, we are not done.
Well, it's an
no,
active-
he's not
on.
done yet. He's not done yet.
We
He's
are
not done yet.
not done. There is more. Rock solid. Reduce incoming damage from attacks by up to 7 per 1,000 total health, capped at 40% of the attack's damage. How crazy is that?
So it's basically a complete damage block at that point.
Yup, for 2,700 gold.
So Giant Slayer is going to be the item that everyone's getting now.
I was about to say, where's Mortal
Mhm.
Reminder? Oh, dude, there's Mortal Reminder.
Because no one
Dude,
wants.
so-
if tanks are too good, then like
Did you look at Zeke's? What they did to Zeke's?
Wait, where's Zeke's, dude? As a support,
Okay.
I'm excited about Zeke's.
ZE, yeah, just look it up. Look it up. Okay, so what
Oh,
they
yeah,
did is
let's
it's
find this.
2,400 gold, 300 health, 30 armor, 250 mana. I don't remember its exact stats on live. 20 ability haste, so it doesn't have the 25% anymore, or it doesn't have the
Oh!
10% anymore. But
So-
this, you still designate an accomplice, but it's not on your ultimate anymore. It's when you immobilize an enemy. So whenever you do a stun of any kind, whenever you do a root of any kind, for the next 4 seconds, your accomplice's attacks are going to deal 25 to 50 plus 1.25% of total health, bonus magic damage once. So it's basically kind of
God,
like
it's like
Damn, dude.
it's like Leona's Daylight activating twice.
Yeah.
they're adding
On-
so much damage to the game, which is a
They
problem.
are. Well, yes, it is. but
Dude,
at the same time,
supports
there's
can
so much
1v2
healing already.
now, dude. Like, I love it.
They're
So-
also adding they're adding more
They're-
resistance to the
Dude,
game. Though,
yeah,
too.
they're making a lot of the items cheaper too. Like Blade of the Ruin King is now 2,900.
I
The
think-
new blade looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think they nerfed a lot of it.
You gotta
It's
like
about
shift
2900.
some of the
Yeah.
power of these items because if you notice, the actives have been removed from a vast majority of them.
which sucks because active is skill expression. Like
I disagree with that because I feel like they probably looked at statistics and they found that people in lower elos were not using their active items. Like they were
That's why
using
it's
the
skill
items, they
expression.
weren't using the actives of the item. So they wanted so what they're trying to do is you have to look at this item change for 2 reasons. One, they're trying to change the state of the game in order to make it more healthy in terms of build order and build options because it's in my opinion, it is very stale when it comes to items. It is, you see the exact same builds every single game because it is the strongest possible build and it doesn't matter what else you pick. If you build anything else, you're garbage.
well,
Dude,
that's
so,
gonna
like,
be that's gonna be
so-
the same though. That's gonna be the same.
Dude,
Well,
just
it's gonna be
just
mostly
think
the
of this
same
too.
as-
If you use Zeke's on like Syndra,
Yeah.
too for the next 4 seconds, attack damage and spells do 1.25 total health. So like each like her QE alt, like that's gonna be doing
It
like
doesn't self proc.
Yes.
What?
What
not
are the jungle
self-proc.
item changes? I actually haven't read it yet.
Well, I'm
oh
saying
my
like
gosh,
I'm saying
I was
I'm
just
saying,
about to get
No,
into
and
that.
it's only
I'm
once
saying if
per
you
attack.
stun, I'm saying if you stun your next 4 seconds,
Mhm.
your accomplices attacks and spells. So that's
Yep.
telling me literally everything that she does.
Once.
It
And
says
it's on one-
attacks
It's per
or
stun.
spells.
It's
Per stun.
It's per. Okay, so it's per CC. Okay, so
Per CC.
that's not as big as you.
No, it's not as busted. That's why, like, so champions like
Once per
Leona.
attack or
That is a
spell
Leona.
per
Like,
enemy.
she's been rushing it anyway. Like, that's kind of what you do: is you rush Zeke's or you rush Knight's Vow, depending on the situation. With Zeke's, she has the immediate root from the Zenith Blade. That's 1 proc. You have the stun, which is a 2nd proc from the Daybreak, and then you have her ultimate, which is a
Thank God they
third
gave
proc.
Zeke's health too.
They did, and
But-
it's.
They've been
Yeah,
giving
'cause
everything.
it's been Aegis and Ice Shield. I can't remember its name at the moment. Glacial Augment.
But someone please tell me what are the jungle changes? Because I heard they were adding stacks to the.
we're not talking about
jungle changes
jungle.
are freaking massive. We'll
Oh
get into
my
that in a second.
gosh,
That's- that's a whole other topic. We'll talk about that here in a moment because I know we got 2 junglers who are excited about that.
I mean,
Let us have our moment, please.
We only gotta.
I know, dude. We have like
a
the
little bit more
diamond
time.
junglers here. Like, we
Listen,
don't
listen,
give a
listen,
shit
listen,
about
listen.
these
You got
low
your
elo
support item
support
rework
players.
last year. It's now our turn. All right.
Yes, it is. You are getting your moment in the sun. However, we do need to talk about ability haste, and we need to bring up grievous wounds and what those are because they're changing tenacity completely. They're changing ability haste. Like ability haste is now CDR. CDR does not exist anymore. What it's going to be is you get 1% of cooldown reduction per ability haste, and you no longer have a cap.
So wait, what? What?
So wait, you can have 100% CDR.
You can have 100%.
No,
it
you
will
can't.
never be
That
zero
doesn't sound right,
cooldown.
yeah.
It will never be 0 cooldown, but you can have potentially above 40%.
Okay, so there's like a minimum.
It does not have a cap.
So every ability in the game, they're essentially going to give like a minimum cooldown.
Yes.
Okay.
Like basically, if you look at it, it's like a 99%.
Okay.
So it'll be like a probably it won't be 0, but it'll be like 0.01 or 0.02 or 0.03.
Oh my God.
They're gonna
dude.
basically say that it
it's-
can't go beyond that.
They're changing the game to Earth.
yes.
Well, in general,
potentially.
it's going to take
But
so
it's
long to get
potentially
to that
because you
point.
have to look at the amount of ability haste on each of these items. A lot of the items that
Yeah.
had 10% now have 20 ability haste on some of them, and some of them have 10 ability haste. So they still only have that amount. They're changing that number right there. Another thing to keep in mind is tenacity is no longer going to affect CC. It only affects knockup.
So wait, why would
No,
you
no,
go
no, no,
tenacity
no,
item?
no, 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 no. So tenacity is also going to affect knockups. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, because I don't know why you get tenacity if it only affects knockups.
Tenacity is not going to affect displacement or spell pulls.
Okay, that's
It's
Dude,
not going to
yeah,
affect long duration CC.
wait. What's their
Um,
definition of long duration CC?
Okay, so this is what it says. Tenacity is a unique and useful stat. We think its interactions across different types of crowd control is confusing and unintuitive. Ideally, we want a player to ask the question, is there a lot of hard CC this game, and know that tenacity will be an effective counter. Towards this goal, we are making the change so that the tenacity will reduce the duration of knockups. We're not going to have tenacity affect displacement spells because their primary purpose is movement, not long duration CC. Also, there are a few ultimate spells in the game where reducing the duration undermines the functionality in a negative way, like Vi-R. Or we will be making these knockup plus suppression.
Dude,
Okay,
I'm
so
also
I misunderstood it. It does affect hard CC. That
Okay.
was
I'm
me.
looking at Locket of Iron Solaria, dude.
So it's like
I'm
the
just like,
slows.
oh
I
my
don't
God,
think it
I
will
love
affect.
it.
So like
Well-
Ash Arrow,
Will still
in
won't
Team
be
of
won't be
Poison.
affected.
it won't affect Ash Arrow, Team or Poison, or things like that.
I'm not.
So you have to get Swifties. You have to get Swifties for those.
I feel.
Wait, what?
You have to get Swifties.
So it's basically saying that you can't build Merc Treads to help with the Ash slow. You have to build Swifty Boots to help with the Ash slow.
Okay.
That's
Like
fine.
that's their
fair.
change on that.
That's fine.
And then ability haste, it scales linearly. For example, 10% CDR is 11% more casts, while 40% CDR is 66% more casts. Breaking it down here, so 10 ability haste is equal to 10% more abilities cast. 20 is 20% more. 30 is 30% more. So it's more of you've got to look at it in the sense
I
of
don't like that, to be honest.
It's
dude,
a-
No, I don't.
it is a weird change. It's basically trying to say that you can cast it more often, rather than just.
I mean,
have
it's
it,
a
like,
it's a huge
spike.
nerf compared to CDR, though.
It is a nerf.
Yes,
So-
CDR was too good to begin with, though, because
It was like it was a guaranteed thing.
I
you always
don't
build
I
on.
don't think so. I just think it got placed on way too many items, man.
yeah. So that I mean,
Like,
I
I don't
wouldn't
know
you
what
would-
ability
you would-
haste is right now.
You would, yeah. Which
Ability
is-
haste is on pretty much everything. I
Yeah.
noticed. Like
Which
it's
is-
basically they're trying to make it
On a
so
lot
everybody
of
can
stuff.
get
I
it.
just looked at it.
Well,
They're
so
trying to
many-
make it so pretty much everybody
so-
can get it.
Let's
Yeah,
so
so
now
many
that
champs need it,
support. So
Mhm.
yeah, now since the support
But so
players
many
had
can't
their,
build it because it just breaks their path.
Go
so
ahead.
since the support players had their time in the sun to shine,
Jungle
let's talk
changes.
about the jungle items or some stupidness.
I haven't read it yet, so I'm unaware of the changes.
Oh,
Okay,
Okay,
so Bob Roski
so-
has.
So essentially, do you remember the support item rework?
Yes.
They're pretty much
So-
doing that.
Yes. So you have to just buy the first initial one, and then after you use Smite 5 times, it upgrades into chilling or challenging Smite, depending on the item that you started.
Okay, so you don't have to pay for the upgrade. Okay, that's fine.
Yes, which is really really good. And I don't know if this is actually listed in here. Let me
They
just
at the very
double
bottom
check
is where they have the
this.
jungle items.
So
Or are
do
you
you
looking
get
for something
do you
else?
still get to pick whether you get chilling or challenging?
Yes, you
Yes.
still get to pick.
It's based
And
off the
Only two
Hunters-
that I'm seeing.
Hunter's
right now.
Machete and Hunter's Talisman are now combined.
Okay,
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah. So you get either Doran's Forge Heart, which upgrades into Challenging Smite, or you get Doran's Hail Seed, which upgrades to Chilling.
Okay,
Those are the only two items.
that's fine.
Yeah, that's it. And then it upgrades automatically. You don't have
Mhm.
to spend 650 gold, and you can actually get combat stats early on. Like, one of the most frustrating parts is, like, yeah, I do a full clear and I back with 1,000 gold. Well, okay, I just upgrade my smite and get 1 longsword, while my laners can just get a needlessly large rod or whatever, a
Mhm.
BF sword. So it's just like, I feel like I'm automatically being, or my laners are almost like on a pedestal compared to me, whereas I have a lot of catching up to do in terms of gold.
Okay.
Um,
Because I know it was originally balanced around that the jungle item is so much less expensive as a completion than the other items in the game, but then they kind of neutralize that with gold income. So,
mm.
I don't know. I'd have to read more on it, but that sounds like a. I mean, I can't see any way how that'd be a detrimental change. But
Oh, it's an extremely positive change.
I'm just
Mhm,
wondering
yeah.
what champion. Now I'm just thinking of what champions that benefits more.
So I think
All of
champion.
them,
Like, I think it
don't they?
benefits everybody. It pushes every
Yeah,
jungler
like,
up
yeah.
because they're
It
spending
does,
less
but
gold.
jungle has a really weird thing where if depending on what champions get the most benefit are the ones that will get snuffed out. So if Sejuani gets too much of a benefit, then you can't play. That suddenly kills Kha'Zix, Lee Sin, and Elise. That's what I'm saying. So it's
Well,
whoever's
okay.
getting the most benefit from the stats that they can get earlier in the game.
You have to look at the items then that they're building because essentially their build timing isn't gonna change. Like what items they build first and in what order. That's not gonna change. What's gonna happen? What is gonna change is how the faster clear junglers are gonna be able to get their item just a little bit earlier than the slower clear junglers.
Okay.
So it's merely a matter of a fact. So think about it this way: how you spend 650 gold to upgrade your jungle item. Instead of doing that, your jungle item is just going to upgrade later. You're basically going to have to. How long is the cooldown on Smite? It's like a minute 30.
Something like that.
It's not.
So it's like a minute 30. So the earliest you could upgrade the Smite would be, let's see, that's 5 times. So you've got to add another 4. What's a minute 30?
This is if you're using it on cooldown too, because you don't
6 minutes,
always
right?
want to use it on
So
cooldown.
Yeah, if you use it immediately after it comes off cooldown, because it doesn't matter what you smite, it just matters that you smited,
Okay.
that it will upgrade. It's kind of like with the gold items on a support, it doesn't matter how many minions you killed, as long as you've accumulated enough gold to complete the quest, then
Well, do you still have to put gold into completing like a warrior type of item? Like, is that still?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Like-
you still have to actually buy the warrior stuff, but
But you
But you
get
still
like
have to buy
you get like
extra item.
Coalfield in this state. All right, I get it. I get it now.
Yeah.
okay, so
the-
you
the
still
basic
buy the
smite
Caulfield
just
hammer
upgrades.
and all that stuff, and it upgrades into the full jungle item.
yes.
I feel like
Gotcha.
that benefits like Hecarim really good too.
Oh, so he can go just straight into his boots.
I mean, he already wants to go straight Triforce anyway. So I mean, him getting his smite is a because that's
I mean-
actually one of the big weaknesses of Hecarim is that he has to go straight Triforce, and then not having challenging smite against certain matchups just means you just can't fight them.
So that's what you would look at then. Who benefits most from their smites? Like who benefits most from chilling smite or challenging smite whenever they're using it? Like those are the champions that this is going to affect early game.
Interesting.
So I think Hecarim is probably going to be one of them, like you just mentioned. See, probably I would say like the ones that you mentioned, Kha'Zix, like because he'll get that earlier. You're going to get chilling smite most often on Sejuani, so it's like you'll be able to slow people earlier.
Yep.
Um,
Kha'Zix doesn't even like finishing
yeah.
warrior
Okay.
anyway.
It,
So
it, it does have one interesting stat on it that I've seen on a couple of other items, which is Omnivamp. I'm not entirely certain what that does.
I think
So
it's like
it's
Camp Vamp.
it's
It's
it
spell
helps-
vamp and
it's-
life steal.
Yeah, I was
Huh?
about to say
Oh, okay.
that.
Yeah, because they added
does
it
what?
together, so spell vamp and life steal.
So it's Spell Vamp and Lifesteal. So you get mana and health
No,
back?
no,
or-
no. So your
Spell vamp-
abilities and
Yeah.
your auto attacks will heal.
Yes.
Okay, because that's on a mythic item. Like you get Omnivamp, not versus monsters versus champions.
Well,
Did
there's
they
not that
bring
many champs
DFG?
that would
Did
use
they bring
that.
DFG back?
Dear God,
One
hope not.
interesting thing is they actually removed the on hit part on the jungle items, which I'm just noticing now.
Okay. That's
Which leads me to believe that champions with a lot more AoE clear are going to be a massive beneficiary rather than single target clears.
So it's on. I see it also like that Omnivamp is on an AD item called Eclipse and an AP item called Axamux Folly.
well, Omnivamp is that is a stat that wouldn't be useful on that many champions because there's not that many champions that are so ability heavy that they need spell vamp and so auto attack reliant that they need vamp. It's usually one or the other.
I mean, Lee Sin already has Omni Vamp in his
Yeah.
kit, right?
Right.
With his
and
W,
you have him build an AD assassin item that gives him another set. Eclipse. Hitting a champion with 2 separate attacks or abilities within 1.5 seconds deals bonus physical damage equal to 16% of their maximum health, grants you 30% movement speed, and a 150 plus 80% bonus attack shield, 100 plus 60% bonus attack damage for ranged champions for 2 seconds. Oh,
You know,
there's a mythic passive too. Hold on. It grants all other legendary armors, all other legendary items, plus 5% armor penetration.
That sounds like the item that would be pretty good on Kiana.
Probably on Kiana. That's an AD assassin item, so I think you have to be an AD assassin to get it.
Does anyone want to remember what the fuck happened to Kiana? Like, I don't think she didn't get nerfed that hard, and then
She did. She got nerfed pretty hard.
But I know China
loves her.
Q
They still love her.
loves
I don't know
her,
why.
yeah, dude.
I love Kiana jungle.
Dude, she's literally in like half the games I've watched
she's an age jungler, but she was one of those things that you can't like. She was not healthy for the game to be in the jungle.
Yeah. I mean, like, so what they did to her, essentially, Riot got rid of like 25% attack speed level 1 under W, and that kind of killed her.
Really? That's it?
in the jungle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because her abilities don't do a lot of damage early on, so a lot of her damage came from auto attacks. So that 25% really added up to a lot. And then it just made it so, since she doesn't have innate sustain, it made her clear like really, really weak and unhealthy.
And she also doesn't like. She doesn't seem like a very good warrior jungler. Like she gets it because it's the only item for her, but warrior is not like as efficient on her as it is on like Lee Sin or Kha'Zix.
Yeah, it's not like where most of her kit wants to be.
If in theory, if her clear was good enough, she'd want to like fucking skip jungle item altogether and go straight into like a Ghostblade or something. So, just having to get warrior is like 2,000 gold that you kind of upset that you had to spend.
You know, that was one of those things I was building on Vi for the longest time. I don't even remember exactly why. I remember why I was doing it, but I don't remember why it was good.
I actually think Cinderhulk is better on Vi.
No. It's like I'd go Cinderhulk or Caulfields. It just depended on the matchup. I preferred Cinderhulk because I like building Vi tanky because I'm crazy. But it's like the first item I would rush was Ghostblade. Again, I don't remember exactly why. I remember it being effective, mostly because I was able to chase people down. But
Vi is a really big low elo champion. I never really got the thought process behind why people pick her.
I pick her because she's fun. Like, she's probably one of the most entertaining champions to play. Like, basically just the interaction you have with her kit where it feels like using your abilities in a good, like, she doesn't have like a super high speed timing on it, but you've got to be able to have a good timing on when do you Q, when do you E, and like make sure you're not messing it up, because she's so auto attack reliant, like Lee Sin, like Master Yi, that it's not super important to get your timings perfect, but they are good to have, and you need to be like able to get it.
I mean, the problem with Vi in general is that so much of her damage is just pounded into her Q. So you either hit it and you kill someone, or you miss it and you do nothing. You're not so. I've watched a couple of videos and I've read a couple of theories on her. You're not supposed to use Q as an engage. It's not supposed to be a long range. You're supposed to use R first, or if you really engage,
you're supposed to open with R, because your Q is used for two things. It's either to get extra damage, which is like you were saying, where most of it is in her kit, or it's used as an escape because your engage failed.
Yes.
So you're like
more damage though if you charge it, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. It does a massive amount more damage. But the thing is, if you're right on top of them anyway, you have time to charge it as long as they don't hard CC you. So if you're going up against a Riven and you basically go in and she starts opening with her Q, you kind of just have to like dance around her until she uses it, maybe using a quick Q in the beginning to kind of get some like little knockoff, so she'll open with hers. Your cooldown should be short enough, in theory, if you've been leveling it, that you can.
That seems pretty slow.
It's very slow. It's not good, but like, it's just
because if her combo is to R, hold Q for 2 seconds to get max damage, and then pray you hit it after that. There's a lot of champions that are just fucking gone away from her at that point.
But most Zach, how is Jarvan support, dude?
I
swear to God, if you say, dude, when he said that, I was like, what?
It works. I've done it before.
No, it doesn't work.
I've done it before.
No.
And it only works when you're playing a cheese lane, and it only works when your opponents are an idiot.
Dude, that was like us when we did Annie. That's like us when we did Annie Leona, dude. Like, it was legit just cheese.
It is. Honestly, I found a better one. Renekton Sejuani. You're not a lane until level 3, but once you hit level 3, oh my God, is it dumb?
No, dude.
That was the thing.
Yeah, dude,
Leona Syndra, dude.
Leona,
level 3 kill someone.
I don't like APCs. I don't like APC.
Like, if you wanted to play Jarvan support would be good with Jhin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's so like the thing that makes Jarvan support work is he's got his armor shred on his Q. You've got the attack speed buff on his banner. He does have a shield, and then the fact that his Cataclysm is just gonna lock. Huh?
His shield is garbage. Like
his shield is garbage. Yeah, it's like it's gonna mitigate maybe half an auto attack.
Hey,
But
play Jarvan, play Shen support against me. I swear.
you know, I almost said that. I was like, hey, who wants me to go Shen support against Danger? Who wants to be my ADC?
Are you playing in the Gold Under League next season?
Not at this moment.
Okay, I was like, if you do, you better first pick Shen support against me.
I've told you multiple times you don't first pick Shen support.
Dude, hey, you are adamant about it, and I am adamantly against it.
All right.
You are.
We've been going for like an hour and 40.
Fine, you
I think
pick
it's
Yuumi,
time
I'll
to,
go Shen.
It's time to wrap up.
I'll still take that.
We ready to
All right.
wrap up, guys?
Yeah, any guys, any announcements or anything like that that you want to talk about? Matta, do you want to talk about the Twitch channel?
Yes. So the Twitch channel is switching to our Atlas Esports channel, where we're going to be putting the content from both parties involved. So you'll see stuff from me, Danger, and Shuriken. Is that right? Shuriken?
Sharogen.
Sharogen.
Like Genji. Like Mata.
And then you'll see Bob's stuff when he decides to put his clips or whatever he's putting on there. You'll also have the YouTube channel where we all have access to it. Like, we'll put highlights, stream highlights. We'll put the VODs from all this. That'll be on there for everybody you see here. So yes, eventually that is the channel move that we will be making as we get some followers over there. So please go follow Atlas Esports.
Put a link in the description, bruh.
Link in the description below. Oh, yeah, it's yeah. I don't have.
Here, I'll just host the channel.
I have a half announcement.
Hey, well, we need to talk about some things off stream too. All right, cool.
I have a half announcement. I might start streaming soon. Might.
Same. I don't know if I will or not though.
It depends on certain situations, but I might start streaming. I will not be solely streaming League of Legends though.
Bobrovsky 3Ys, my Twitch. Follow up.
Danger Nation TV.
Should post it in the chat so people know where it is and can click on it.
All right. Matta, end the stream.
Oh, I was hosting it. I'm hosting the channel that we want you guys to follow. So please go follow that over there. All right. Whatever.